former Fulbright scholar. I am also a former felon. On February 15, 2011, I was arrested with 15 other co-defendants as part of a conspiracy to sell drugs and transport weapons. I was 17 years old, facing 25 to life. And yet, in February 2017, I became an official Fulbright scholar in Cape Town, South Africa, where I taught English, history, and founded a Black women's empowerment group called Soul Sisters. 34909-17055. That was my inmate number on Rikers. It's how I made phone calls, brought commissary, processed in and out of the jail, and survived. I was 34909-17055, sharing a jail with up to 50 other numbers, names, faces, and cases. We were all numbers with our names to the jail. We were on a last name basis with the COs, on a first name basis with each other. We were our docket numbers in court, and we were our crimes to the public. Outside of being in jail, we were pretty normal girls. We cared about our fashion, our appearance. We got competitive over card games, gossiped about celebrities, talked about those we found attractive. And we flipped through magazines and say things like, "Girl, wait till I get home. Everybody knew you looked terrible in jail." We'd rip out pages and use toothpaste to stick them in our journals or our cinder block cell walls. For those of you who don't know, glue is not allowed in jail, so we opted for the next best thing, toothpaste. Jail will teach you to be resourceful like that. We were also angry, traumatized, and frustrated. We cried in the showers, and we cried late night in our cells. We waited anxiously to hear some good news, a phone call, mail, some sliver of hope, but we were often disappointed. But we still laughed and made the most out of our terrible situations. We talk about our love lives and say things like, "I'm a loyal girl. I ride or die for my man. I hold it down." We get so caught up in storytelling, playing card games, creating gourmet prison meals, that we forget that we were in jail. Until we were reminded we were in jail. Until we were strip searched, plastic cot-like mattresses flipped, last names called to give an order. We were reminded when we heard, "Lock in 15," and heard the electric metal cell doors closing. We were reminded when our tiny rectangular windows were tapped and we were scolded in order to wear t-shirts because there were male guards on duty and we could distract them. When we were reminded that our bodies weren't even our own, we remembered that we were in jail. I was an anomaly on Rikers Island. Aside from my case being highly publicized on the front page of the news, I studied for my SATs, I wore Deerfield Academy sweatpants, and had a constant stream of community support in the visits and in the courtroom. I was blessed to have my church, the Abyssinian Baptist Church, rally to support my release and believe that I had a future outside of prison. But I was just like my peers in the adolescent wing at the Rose M. Singer Center on Rikers Island. I felt hopeless in the courtroom, insecure. I had very low self-esteem. I craved love, attention, and affection. And like 80% of the other girls, I was locked up for someone that I loved. Though I was charged with felony conspiracy, my real crime was not loving myself. I committed that crime long before I met my boyfriend turned co-defendant at 15. There wasn't a thing I wouldn't do for him. And at the time, loving him filled this large void in my heart. I grew up in Harlem, New York City, as the oldest of four, raised by a fearless single mother. See, we was poor, as in poor, but too broke to afford the other two letters, O and R. But my mom made sure to invest in our educational success. I was always one of the top students in the classroom. Getting A's and being on the dean's list was like a sport to me. And very early on, I equated my self-worth with my academic success. I excelled so much in middle school that I obtained a full scholarship to attend the prestigious Deerfield Academy boarding school. But at Deerfield, my self-worth completely plummeted. Socially, I struggled. It's like they wanted to tame my tongue, water down my identity, and squeeze the Harlem out of me. And if you know me, that's like squeezing out my life. I remember one day speaking in class, and I started off a sentence with, ain't that the... And the teacher quickly cut me off. Miss O's, this is not the Bronx. We speak proper English in this classroom. At the time, my 14-year-old self thought, first off, I'm from Harlem, not the Bronx. There's a difference, and don't get it twisted. My 14-year-old self laughed at this older white man's ignorance and lack of street smarts. But as I reflect, I was deeply hurt by that transaction because I felt that I stepped into their world. I code switched and learned their customs and their countries and what they did for fun. And they wanted me to erase mine. They joked about mine. I was the class clown without even trying. And academically, forget being the top student. Shoot, I was barely even the average student. It was like I was living in two totally different worlds. On one hand, I was the hometown hero who was supposed to make it out, and I was a star pupil. On the other, I was the daughter of an alcoholic who hated boarding school, but was happy to escape the sadness of home. I was in limbo, and I felt like I was homeless, not in the physical sense, but I felt like there was nowhere for me to place my heart. But with my boyfriend, I was accepted. I had a home. He encouraged me to keep up my studies while he managed to survive in the streets. And as a lost teenage girl who needed love and acceptance, I obliged and I joined the ride. So when I was given a gun to hold, I did not say no. Because to me, love was about sacrifice. If you didn't risk it all, could you even call it love? Due to my community and my lawyer tirelessly advocating on my behalf, I only served 6 months on Riker's Island and had 3 years probation. My case was adjudicated as a youthful offender, and I was able to attend Hobart and William Smith colleges, where I graduated cum laude in May 2016. I knew that graduating college, despite my hardship, was an accomplishment, but I knew I'd always have to work 3 times as hard. I'm a woman, I'm Black, and I'm formally convicted. Those words alone carry so much weight for those of us who hold them. Imagine having all 3. So when my mentor suggested I apply for a Fulbright fellowship, I laughed. Me? A former felon? Do I even have the grades? Girl, you tripping. I thought I had improved myself worthy enough to be selected for a Fulbright. In my mind, I needed to win a Nobel Peace Prize or publish a book before I pursued higher accolades. But despite my self-doubt, my mentor encouraged me to apply. And to my surprise, but not hers, I was awarded a Fulbright grant to teach English in Cape Town, South Africa. It is in that moment that I think of the importance of mentors to guide us when we are led astray by our self-doubts. And during my time in South Africa, I had the opportunity to pay it forward as a mentor and founder of a Black women's empowerment group, Soul Sisters. I created the group after I circulated a small survey amongst the women of color and found that many of them suffered from low self-esteem, did not love themselves, and felt that they needed a boyfriend to be complete. I created this program to focus on self-esteem building, to be facilitated through a trauma-informed lens, and to be healing-based. We did things like read Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie's We Should All Be Feminists. We created vision boards, had goal-setting sessions, and of course, we did face masks. About a month later, my students came up to me with their own survey. Miss Africa, would you agree that you look better when your hair is done? I was caught a bit off guard, and I learned very early on as a teacher, what you say can and will be used against you. So I hesitantly answered, yes, but I was too late. They checked my name off and quickly ran to the next classroom. At Masi Bambane High School, where I taught, they had a very unique and strict uniform policy. One of the policies was that the young women could not wear weave or extensions or wigs on their hair. In other words, their hair had to be completely natural. A few of the students decided to protest this policy, and some of the ringleaders were in Soul Sisters. I decided to use a session to pick their minds a little bit and see what their motives were. All right, y'all, let's keep it real. Why do y'all want to wear the weave? They responded, because, Miss Afrika, we look nicer, and we're always getting bullied by the other students. We're getting harassed by the other schools, and sometimes our boyfriends cheat on us with other girls because they look better. Listen, my boyfriend straight up told me he hates my short, nappy, natural, kinky hair. I asked him, would you do anything for your boyfriend? Earlier that week, the principal alerted me to a few of the students that had violated the attendance policy several times who were in my group. I had a theory as to why, and I wanted to use this opportunity to test it out. So I asked them, how many of you have skipped school because of your boyfriends? They all looked at each other as if to say, don't tell her too much. But one girl spoke up. My boyfriend dropped out of high school last year, so I stay with him sometimes because he asks, and sometimes because I just don't want him to get in trouble. He stays out, he'll go out drinking, and I just want to make sure he's safe. And my theory proved true. This was bigger than hair. In that moment, I was 17 again, sitting around a table of teenage girls discussing all the ways we've gone above and beyond for the men that we loved. I listened to the stories of how they spent their allowance money on these boys. They snuck wigs on after school to be attractive. They hid their boyfriends from rival gangs, and overall went above and beyond to love them. I listened, and I felt like I was 34909 17055 again. And this was the moment it all came together for me. This wasn't just an issue that I saw in jail. This was a woman's issue, a Black woman's issue. Like me and the other women at Rikers Island, the girls and Soul Sisters came from single-parent, low socioeconomic households and felt a world of pressure to be successful for their families. Some of the students were the top of their class, A students, and high percentile test scorers. But they still just wanted to be loved, liked, and feel good when they looked in the mirror. And we mirrored each other with that, with our low self-esteem, weak boundary setting, and self-doubt, which ultimately influenced our poor decision-making. This global connection between the young women in Fulbright and in Rikers exemplifies a larger issue that Black women are burdened with. We are tasked with carrying the world on our shoulders while we reach up and grab the moon for the people that we love. And we do this even when our backs break, even when our spines shift, and we suffer in silence. Sometimes we overperform academically and professionally to build our self-esteem and self-worth, but we are met with a crude reality when we are still only judged and measured by our attractiveness and the content between our thighs. We feel this pressure when we are measured by our ability to be empathetic, yet stern, career first, but family-oriented, Black but not too Black, aggressive, but don't be that angry Black lady, beautiful, but fix your skin, hair, nose, and accent. We are measured by contradictory expectations, and we hold ourselves to these binding standards. And that amount of pressure and expectation is enough to make us crack. And we do. We all crack in different ways. Some of us in depression, anger, sadness, self-harm, bad decisions, addictions, and numbness. For me, I cracked and filled that space with a love that had thorns, a love that, when I gripped it, it bled and bruised me. But at least I didn't feel empty. And I'm not alone. There are so many of us filling in spaces with jagged pieces of glass and splintered concepts of self-worth that we become numb to the pain. Some of us never heal, repeat these cycles, and may even wind up in prison because of it. And this is why we need a unique approach to helping at-risk women of color. My experience at Rikers and Fulbright highlighted the need to create support groups for young women focused on 3 key areas: self-esteem building, mentorship, and redemption. Building self-esteem is critical for women of color who, at a global level, struggle to find beauty and self-worth against a dominant Eurocentric culture. Building self-esteem within reduces the need to seek outside validation from friends, relationships, or online. This increases our self-confidence, which directly impacts our ability to make decisions that are in our best interests. I often think of this quote by Mark Batterson: "You're always one decision away from a totally different life." And that makes me think of all the times I have said yes when I should have said no. In fact, I still feel guilty when I say the word no. And that's because I've placed a lot of my value and sense of self in pleasing others. If we teach young women to find value within, they will be more confident in saying the word no. And they will make informed decisions that will change their lives. As I mentioned, a supportive community of mentors gave me a surreal outcome in my case, helped me defeat self-doubt, and find sisterhood and solidarity in the struggle of loving myself as a flawed Black woman. Mentors are important for young women because they provide guidance, show us that there is someone who cares, who wants to care, and who can guide us through our mistakes, opportunities, and untapped potential. We can find these mentors from our invested community institutions like churches, local businesses, neighborhood natives, teachers, and our elders. Lastly, empowerment groups that highlight redemption are necessary because we all make mistakes. Whether you are confident, successful, insecure, or jobless, mistakes are inevitable. It's comforting to know that many of the women I admire cry. They hurt people. They have been hurt, have doubted themselves, have lost, and won. In other words, they're human. We need to remind women of color, it is okay to fail. It's okay to take the world off your shoulders. It's okay to rip the cape off. It's absolutely okay to be derailed. But we must have the resources to support them when they feel this way. Dismantling and solving the rising rate of adolescent women of color in prisons requires a multi-tiered solution. Reshaping policy on an institutional level can and will dismantle the prison industrial complex. But exploring the root issue of what impacts women of color before they are sent to prison is an area that absolutely needs more focus. We need prevention and intervention groups that don't just shame women from making bad decisions, but provides them with necessary tools to empower themselves, undoubtedly put themselves first, and give them confidence to stand and speak in their truths. With this approach, hopefully we can encourage more women of color to let go. Let go of those thorny roses, remove splinters and glass shards from those cracks of loneliness, doubt, and uncertainty, and fill those voids with self-love, community, and redemption. Thank you.